HypoCritical Drinker.
In 2012, Critical Drinker wrote this in his first Ryan Drake novel.
Kira Frost, 5 foot 2 inches tall and weighing no more than 100 pounds. He'd once watched her literally throw herself at an armed man twice her size and many times her strength. He'd almost felt sorry for the guy, seeing the brutal and fiercely aggressive way she wrestled him down.
Critical Drinker wrote this when he believes
men are generally bigger, stronger and more robust, with denser and heavier bones, stronger muscles, broader shoulders, longer limbs and superior upper body strength.
Then in 2024 he released a short film and had the same character take 5 punches and a knee, and she still had enough strength to hold back a knife to her face. And he wrote this dialogue to make it plausible.
I'm not even trying. Here's another interesting factoid.
Critical Drinker's still saying the things he chooses to do is bad when Hollywood does it.
You've often heard me joke about petite actresses beating the shit out of guys twice their size, but in this case, it's literally true.
She wrestled him down.
It's me being a hypocrite is what it is.
Subscribe to Slappercat. In this video, I'm going to highlight how Critical Drinker speaks in vague and broad ways to say absolutely nothing of value, and how methinks this makes him the Drunken Master of Half-Truths.
Moron!
Once upon a time, Drinker went on a podcast, and I'm sure he counts his blessings every day that it didn't get trigonometry views, because then more people would see what a silly sausage he is when he's asked a totally innocent and benign question.
There's a reason people like in the West are starting to draw more and more towards Korean or Japanese filmmaking. It's precisely because it's a bit different from what we get.
Yeah, what is the most recent Japanese film or at least entertainment that you enjoyed so far?
What am I thinking of? See, a lot of them would be older ones, like Old Boy. Yeah, probably stuff like that. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I'm just trying to think of other stuff.
Other stuff? How about one?
Fuck you!
You lose.
It does also seem like there's a kind of a negative, very pessimistic tenor to a lot of movies as well, that they don't seem to put across a lot of genuine hope. What do you think's going on there? Is that reflecting what our culture is like now? Is that impacting on culture? Is it just the fact that we're coming out of the back end of, I don't know, a period where people aren't feeling too happy?
Good question.
There's not the kind of patriotic movies that I think you used to get. You know, if you look back to the 2000s particularly, for rather obvious reasons, America was fighting the war on terror. And so there was a need and a desire for heroism, for pro-American movies, for just patriotism. And that doesn't really exist now. And again, I don't know if it reflects a kind of lack of confidence. I don't know if it reflects Hollywood's attitude to all things sort of American. I don't know if there's weird associations there where it's like they feel like it's dangerous to be too, pro your own country. I'm not sure what the idea behind it is.
He literally answers the question and then waffles about not knowing the answer to the question. The need and desire changes with a new generation.
It's that simple, understand?
Maybe Drinker could get round to reviewing these patriotic movies, but alas, he's too busy counting white boys in The Acolyte.
And see if you can identify the one demographic that's mysteriously left out.
Aren't you ashamed of yourself?
That's not noteworthy criticism. It's weird and gross, and he's a parent. Oh my God, I don't care what gender that thing is, it is adorable and I want to tickle its little chin. Anyway, it's just more proof of his shallow criticism that's aimed at people with terrible media literacy. And he certainly doesn't hate children, because although he was in court for allegedly punching an 11-year-old boy, he said,
I'm not guilty.
Emotional content.
Drinker has a delightful series called Why Modern Movies Suck, and apparently one of the reasons he felt compelled to put in video form is...
They hate men. The traditional heroic male lead that was pretty much the bedrock foundation of cinema for almost 100 years is apparently no longer a viable commodity in entertainment today. They're too dated, too toxic, too dangerous to put into the limelight, and so they've been replaced with more acceptable alternatives. Don't believe me? Fuck it, go turn on your TV and watch basically any commercial break that comes up in the next hour or so.
What you talking about? 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 What you talking about?
Your first example of why modern movies hate men is go and watch a commercial.
Are you feckin' joking me?
Commercials are not movies.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were having a state the obvious contest.
Crazy idea. Why don't you show examples of movies that hate men instead of telling me to watch a commercial to prove your point, you lazy fuck?
No.
The Death of the Stoic Man. Pick out any random selection of mainstream movies that are more than 10 or 15 years old and give them a watch. Now pay particular attention to the men in those movies. Watch how they act, how they communicate with each other, the pace and tone and tempo of their conversations. You'll probably begin to pick up on a few things, like the fact that men in older movies are generally able to convey a lot more by saying less. They're generally more reserved and project a kind of quiet confidence.
Generally speaking, Chinese people look Chinese.
If the Stoic Man is dead post-2008, then how do you explain the 3 Equalizer movies, the many Stoic roles from Keanu Reeves and Jason Statham, and all these movies with Stoic characters? And what about the fact John Bernthal says one word in Pilgrimage and Nick Cage has no dialogue at all in Willy's Wonderland? That's turning Stoic up to 11, but of course you generally rely on your audience not looking generally past the end of their nose, because if they did, they'd realise you're generally wrong.
You don't get stoic male characters.
Wrong. Quite wrong.
Money, money, money.
Why are movies so damn expensive now? 1. Actors. There's no getting around this. Actors are paid way too much these days. Take, for example, Jennifer Lawrence, who was famously paid $20 million for a role in the movie Passengers, even though there was almost nothing to suggest that she was actually a box office draw.
Almost.
Passengers was in development stage in March 2014, and Lawrence, who replaced McAdams, who replaced Witherspoon, had been nominated for Best Actor in 2011 and won Best Actor in 2013. And those movies made a healthy profit, and so did X-Men First Class and American Hustle, and the first 2 Hunger Games movies made
$1.5 billion.
And the average theatre run being about 2 months means somebody at Columbia Pictures may have seen Lawrence's upward trajectory and decided she was worth $20 million for Passengers.
FYI. That means for your information.
Passengers made $300 million.
Mid-tier comedy actors like Adam Sandler and Will Ferrell
Shut up!
What an idiot.
churn out low-effort dog-shit movies and haven't been commercially relevant in years.
Are you sure about that?
Netflix says that Sandler's films have been popular with audiences.
Murder Mystery breaks Bird Box's Netflix viewing record.
Murder Mystery 2 was Netflix's 5th most-watched film of last year, with 173 million hours viewed.
Adam Sandler's Hubie Halloween, already Netflix's most-watched movie. Top 10 week of June 6. Hustle scores big.
Damn!
Leo scores biggest debut ever for Netflix animated film.
Netflix has expanded his global audience to new territories and consequentially made him the top streaming star in the world. Netflix announced that its audience watched more than 2 billion hours worth of Adam Sandler movies since 2015.
It is truly adorable if you think someone gets hundreds of millions of dollars when they're not commercially relevant. Now, as for Will Ferrell, he's not had so much success unless you count Barbie being the biggest grossing movie of 2023 and Despicable 4 making nearly $1 billion and Apple TV's claim that Spirited is their biggest movie and the Lego movies and Daddy's Home 1 and 2 all doing well financially. And because Drinker gets away with conflating movies and commercials, I could add the fact that he's a producer on Quiz Lady, which won an Emmy, Dead to Me, which I think is a good show, and Succession, which I think is a fucking brilliant show.
Number 2, production bloat.
Me absolutely hate production bloat, almost as much as lazy videos that loop the same visuals over and over and over and...
This is a pretty thick book. It's pretty chunky. It's about 550 pages, at least this copy is. There's maybe 300 pages worth of story here, because everything in this book is described in 3 times as much detail as is necessary, so scenes just drag on.
I agree, James, that's a shit ton of pages, but it's a known fact that writers get better and more concise with age.
Whoa, dude.
What the fuck?
Number 4, bad writing.
100% agree. Can't stand authors that use too many adverbs and pointless phrases just to increase the word count, like, he said at length, instead of just saying,
he said.
Surely the only way you can say no at length is,
No!
The irony and hypocrisy is staggering when he talks about bad writing and bloat when his books are over 600 pages and his 36-minute movie is near 10% flashbacks and it repeated a scene and it has dialogue this bad.
All I want to know is the name of the man who led this mission.
I guess we're in for a long night. Because I don't know shit.
This looks and sounds like a bullshit rush job.
Better hope this isn't a trap. Because if those assholes don't kill you, I will. The only people dying today are those fuckers. All of them.
Number 5, reshoots.
Reshoots are terrible. Why not just use the shoddy, poorly lit take or the one where the actor knocks down the set, or even better, just loop the same visuals over and over and over and over and over.
Oh, deja vu.
Reshoots are the fucking bane of modern filmmaking.
Yes.
I know it's always been a thing to some extent, and I know movies like Superman 2 and Back to the Future had pretty major reshoots, but they were very much the exception to the rule back then.
Me loves Back to the Future. You do too, right?
Love it. I could happily watch all three of them and just have a great time. But yeah, the first one is just fantastic.
Yeah.
Just real magical movie.
It's really cool that one of your top 5 movies has 2 of the reasons you say modern movies suck. Because they had to replace Eric Stoltz with Michael J. Fox. But of course, movies you like are
the exception to the rule.
Is very convenient.
Here's a few more exceptions to the rule to highlight reshoots have always been a thing and have improved many great movies. And what % of movies even have reshoots? And if there's more movies made today, has the % of reshoots actually increased?
You ask a lot of questions.
And also,
why didn't marketing make your top 5 reasons movies are too expensive, considering it 4x'd the production budget? Is it because it's not sexy?
Yep.
Drinker also recommends Top Gun Maverick and loved Joker, even though they were bloated by their marketing budget. And Maverick has tons of CGI that's so good he doesn't even know it's there. And if you want to see just how much, then watch this video. You may have seen the Drinker's video about The Boys Season 4 and know that he never actually watched it before he shat this turd out.
So it was off to Rotten Tomatoes for me to check out the reviews. Not the critic reviews, of course, because nobody in their right mind gives a shit what those fucking shills have got to say about anything anymore.
That's ironic coming from you.
Why?
Because you're a movie critic.
I'm talking about the audience reviews, which is the only semi-reliable barometer for quality these days, and oh.
Don't be a sad cherry-picking hack. The audience reviews at IMDb are much better.
Look through the reviews and you'll see page after page of absolutely brutal write-ups, all saying basically the same thing.
I love the second to last review you show is 5-star. And if there was page after page of negative reviews, then why was there 3 edits in your scrolling when Rotten Tomatoes infinitely scrolls on one page? Also, is there such a thing called selecting 10-star reviews and then scrolling?
You're saying... What are you saying?
I'm saying if the audience score was high and the critics low, you'd invert your opinion. And criticising things you have not watched makes you an absolute massive all-encompassing bellend who has no shame and no respect for the media you criticise, and nobody should listen to your dog shit opinions on anything.
I concur.
Here's an observation. People are criticising Drinker's film in the same way he criticises Hollywood movies.
That's gotta hurt.
I got this comment on my parody review for Drinker's film and I thought it was worth sharing.
I pre-downloaded this movie for a future watch. I was on a flight with no internet. Bored as hell on the plane, I decided to watch this to kill my boredom. I got so bored with this after 15 minutes I turned it off and deleted it.
Oh, here's a fun fact.
Currently, The Boys Season 4 audience score is higher than Drinker's film's audience score.
Kinda, hurts my feelings.
2 weeks.
Here's Will giving his expertise during the writer's strike in 2023.
I mean, they've proven that they can keep running for months without writers. Like, 'cause, well, they're fucking useless anyway.
Quiet, shut up.
Maybe the scripts were already completed and that might be the reason they could continue production without the writers.
Point taken.
Anyway, Nostradamus made a prediction when the actors went on strike.
Well, like, if you don't have actors, it's like, okay, the whole industry's shut down. That can't continue indefinitely. That has to be resolved pretty quickly. Yeah. So I can't see them being on strike for more than a couple of weeks.
For 118 days, Hollywood actors were striking.
2 weeks.
There's a reason he gets more views on his usual videos in hours compared to his own film in a month. I've no clue what it is because I don't think Drinker is a good critic or has anything interesting, unique or insightful to say.
No, he's a hack.
Like the bloody video.